Now, generally speaking, when you bet on a team and they score 56 points, that's a good thing. Except when your team is laying 22 points and they allow the opponent to score 41, and that's the position I found myself in yesterday, betting on Appalachian State, releasing them as potential 15-time college football best bet winner, number 7 out of 9, and watching them lose as they failed to cover in a 56-41 win, laying 22 against NC Charlotte. And that's the way that cookie crumbled. So yesterday here on the video report, I gave you complimentary winners on Texas A&M, SMU, pushed with Penn State, and lost with Hawaii 2-1-1, and lost the best bet. And again, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Again, as I said, it's gambling. There are no guarantees. Look it up in the dictionary. You will never find those two words on the same page. But interesting, I find myself in the position here, unfortunately, that I have now lost 3 straight days. Oh my God, a guy's coming on his video report. He's talking about losing instead of winning. What is wrong with this world? But over the last 13 months, I have had only 4 losing streaks of 3 days or longer, which I think speaks volumes of about my consistency and my ability to constantly, as I like to use the analogy, going to golf, of having the ability to scramble back to par. And I think it also speaks to what I always preach and why I think is so important for those of you out there doing this just like me. Your ability to put yesterday aside, to, as I say, not celebrate the wins and never lament the losses. You can't let yesterday affect how you look at today's card, whether you won or whether you lost. You've got to remain on that even keel, and you've got to look at today's card and just look for that next money-making opportunity. For me, it's the game between the Dolphins and the Ravens today. I lost yesterday. It's over with. But there's a reason I've only had 4 losing streaks of longer than 3 days over a 13-month period, because I don't become one of those guys, one of those gamblers, or one of those handicappers in this business who, when I lose a play, no matter how big or small, I'm going to walk the plank the next day, or I can't deal with it, or I've got to call my shrink, or I've got to go into a therapy session, or I've got to watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'm not one of those guys. I move forward, and that's what you have to do as well. Let's talk about the opening weeks of the NFL season, especially in week number 1, things that you should always be aware of, what I have experienced over the years. It goes without saying, as I always tell you, that we always have the advantage the opening weeks of the sport or season, no matter. But week number 1, I have always traditionally found that favorites always are the way to go, because again, you've got soft numbers. Weeks number 2 or 3, let me tell you, the dogs bite back and they bite us in the ass. That is always the way it is. But in week number 1, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that we are probably going to find that there are going to be about 10 favorites that are going to cover the spread when all is said and done. Now, we didn't find one on Thursday night, of course, as the Packers got the job done against Chicago as a 3-point road dog. But generally speaking, favorites are the way to go. Also, as I alluded to on Thursday, as NFL preseasons have changed over the years, as the games have become even more meaningless, as coaches have decided to rest their starters even more because of fearing for their job security, you find, at least I do, that teams with high-powered offenses, they struggle at the outset. You saw that with the Packers and Aaron Rodgers. You saw that especially with Mitchell Trubisky and the Bears. I think that it'll be interesting to see how the Rams, who don't play any starters, and Jared Goff come out today. How the Patriots tonight with Tom Brady come out offensively tonight. How Carson Wentz, who is going to see his first game action in 9 months today, and the Eagles come out offensively today. High-powered offenses generally will struggle in the first week of play. And afterwards, everybody will say, well, we just weren't in sync. We didn't have that chemistry. We didn't have that cohesiveness. You know, it's just going to take some game action. Yes, because going back to Allen Iverson, that practice. Practice is important. You know, it is, but it doesn't simulate game action. And they can have all the OTAs, they can have all the training camp practices they want, they can have all the scrimmages with teams, but it doesn't really equal game action, and that hurts these teams. The other interesting thing that I have found, and we will monitor this over the first 11, 12 weeks of the season, It sounds so simple, but it's not. If you can pick the straight-up winner, you can pick the team that's going to cover. I assure you that when we continue to talk about 10, 11, 12 weeks from now, the straight-up winner, we will find that they have covered at about a 93% clip 12 weeks from now. It happens almost every year. Now, of course, you're sitting there going, oh my God, Al, you've just revealed the secret to gambling. It ain't that easy to sit here and pick the straight-up winner of every damn game and go in ahead of time with your crystal ball and go, oh, that's the team that's going to cover. But generally speaking, it's just something I found about 7 or 8 years ago and tracked the first 10 to 12 weeks of the season. The straight-up winner, you will find, will cover the game at about a 93, 94% clip over the first 10 to 12 weeks of the season. It's really a bizarre, freaky little streak. But we'll follow it as the season progresses. Listen, today, 27% off your total purchase price is your NFL Welcome Back bonus. It's a mix and match coupon, good for any combination of picks and or packages. The only stipulation, you got to put everything in your shopping cart at one time to maximize your savings. If you happen to be in the midst of a package with a current handicapper, you can also use your instant rebate. It is applicable as well. If you have any questions, you can always contact customer service. Congratulations to Matt Rivers. Hit his first college football blank check release of the season yesterday. How easy was Central Florida? I wish I had went with them. He has one today on the Cowboys and Giants. You got yesterday's for over half price off. Same thing going today with the coupon code blank. Props going out to Dwayne Connors, going for football winner number 7 out of 8 today. It goes on the early card. You get it for over half price off by using coupon code blowout. Yesterday, another top-rated 1,000 unit winner, just like today's, just like Thursday's on Green Bay. Yesterday, it was on, who was yesterday's winner? You know, I don't know who's yesterday's winner. Hell, he's 5-1 in college football. You can check out all the rest of the promos over on the homepage. Let's get busy here with your complimentary plays. On the early card, I'm going to give it a shot with the Rams. Sean McVay, listen, he rested all the starters last year in preseason. Week number 1, they took care of the Raiders 30-6. I think the challenge will be a little greater with Carolina today. But I don't know how healthy Cam Newton is. The guy's coming back from shoulder surgery, and then he hurt his foot a couple of weeks ago, right? So how healthy is Cam Newton going to be today? And this Carolina defense, they switched from a 4-3 to a 3-4. They went out and they signed Bruce Irvin, right? New linebacker. He's going to be out with a hamstring injury. Wade Phillips has a little experience. Remember with the Broncos in Super Bowl 50 in terms of shutting down Cam Newton. This Rams defense, they went out, they upgraded. They needed to upgrade. They got a new nose tackle, 2 new inside linebackers, 2 new edge rushers, including ex-Packer Clay Matthews. How much does he have left in the tank? Do I think the Rams will have a post-Super Bowl letdown? No. Is Todd Gurley healthy? I think so at the outset of the season. I think he'll inevitably wear down. The only thing I find interesting here, that you have to be leery about the Rams all season long. Keep this in mind. I talk about in baseball, home road splits with pitchers. Keep this in mind with Jared Goff. At home last year, 68.2% completions, 22 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. On the road last year, 60.9% completions, 10 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. We're talking about a huge drop in his production, and the Rams offense suffered as a result of that as well. But because everybody's factoring in, will the Rams have a letdown? Will Gurley be healthy? What type of effect will the Rams not playing any of their starters in the preseason have? You're getting the Rams at a bargain basement price today at 1.5. How can you not bet them today? If you're going to bet this game, you got to take the Rams. They are the better team. End the story. Kansas City is a 3.5-point favorite today against Jacksonville. Yeah, I know the Jaguars have that defense coming back. Did the defense play well at times last year? At times. I know they went out and got Nick Foles. Listen, I'm a huge Eagles fan, and Nick Foles has been wonderful. But is he single-handedly going to turn that franchise around offensively? They've still got to be able to reestablish a ground game. Kansas City has got to reestablish their own ground game, sure, but they still have Patrick Mahomes. They still have an offense that averaged 35.3 points a game last year, and you're giving me Kansas City 3.5 on the road? I'm going to take my chances with the Chiefs here, and I'm going to buy down the half point, okay? If that line is crossing 3, 4, 7, or 10, I'm always buying down that half point up or down, depending whether I'm on the favorite or the underdog. Yeah, I'm going to take the Chiefs here in this game, and I'm not going to look back. End of story. Also, on the early card, I'm going to go with Philadelphia because I have all types of questions about this Washington team. A Washington team that's without their starting left tackle, Trent Williams. A Washington team that's probably going to be without their starting tight end, Trent Williams. A Washington team whose wide receiver core is questionable at best. A Washington team that's going with Case Keenum, who's with his 6th team in 6 years today. Do I think the Eagles may struggle a bit offensively? Yes. But they sure do have a lot of offensive firepower. Deshaun Jackson giving them that wide receiver that can burn the field and stretch it with the speed that they've lacked on the outside. They've gone out and they improved the running game, getting Jordan Howard from the Bears and getting Miles Sanders, the rookie out of Penn State. Fletcher Cox making his debut after missing the preseason. Career high 10.5 sacks last year, 4 of them coming in the 2 games against the Redskins. It's the biggest number of the board today, but I'll lay the 10 points with Philadelphia in this one. So those are your plays on the early card. Again, the Rams, Kansas City, and Philadelphia in that order. On the late afternoon card, I'll take a shot with the Dallas Cowboys. They went out, they paid the money to Zeke, and people are saying, well, maybe he won't see extensive action today. I think he will. I think we'll get 22 to 24 carries in this game. I think the Cowboys is going to open up their offense this year. That's why they went out and got Kellen Moore as their new offensive coordinator to be less focused on just simply pounding the ball up the middle with Zeke. I think they're going to be a little more diversified to take advantage of that big offensive line, take advantage of Dak Prescott's skills and Amari Cooper out there on the outside. The Giants, what do they have offensively? They lost Odell Beckham Jr. They went out and signed Golden Tate to try to fill his shoes, or at least for one of them. He's suspended the first 4 games of the season. Other than Saquon Barkley, what do they have? What do they have? Offensive line for the Cowboys is great. The Giants last year are league low, or I should say an NFC low, 30 sacks. Yeah, I'll go with the Cowboys, who have won 4 straight and 5 of the last 6 at home in the series, who are in 10-2 ATS role in division play. I'll lay it with the Cowboys, but I will say, of the 4 free picks, they are at the bottom of the barrel. So that'll do it, guys. I wish you well, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow when we do this again.